Okay, I want you to take a quick second and just look up. If you're sitting in a modern building or at home right now, there is a really good chance you've got this big, rectangular, white plastic box hanging on your wall. Have you ever actually noticed your air conditioner? I mean, sure, it's an absolute marvel of modern engineering. It keeps us cool and comfortable. But from a design perspective, it's kind of just there, right? It's this purely functional appliance that we mostly just tolerate in our living spaces rather than actually celebrate.
And you know what? Time is really not kind to pure functionality. Just think about the inevitable degradation of these things. Years of exposure to UV light turns that pristine white plastic into this aged, yellowed eyesore. It literally just becomes visual clutter. And honestly, when that happens, our first instinct is usually to just rip the whole unit off the wall and throw it away, even if the mechanics inside are still working perfectly fine, which, when you think about it, is a massive waste.
So, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a fascinating project called Siam Canvas. This is a brilliant innovation project that asks a really bold question. What if we could take the deep, rich cultural heritage of Thai art and seamlessly merge it with modern, mass-produced industrial design?
And the visual transformation is honestly striking. We're talking about evolving from that standard, utilitarian unit we're all so used to, into a legitimate, contemporary interior masterpiece. The Siam Canvas solution is basically a modular, decorative front panel system that's designed to just snap right onto existing indoor units. It completely flips the visual narrative of a room, transforming a boring appliance into a very deliberate, very cool piece of home decor.
Now, to actually pull this off, the designers rooted their entire approach in this core concept known as the MAIA principle. MAIA stands for Most Advanced Yet Acceptable. The idea here is that a truly successful design has to strike a really, really delicate balance. It needs to be innovative enough to create genuine excitement, sure, but it also has to feel familiar enough so that people actually want to live with it in their homes. If it's too novel, consumers just reject it outright, but if it's too familiar, well, no one cares.
So the whole project hinged on addressing this one central challenge, which the researchers formulated perfectly. They asked, how can Thai cultural aesthetics be transformed into contemporary industrial products without appearing outdated, excessive, or visually alienating? Because modern consumers, we want meaningful environments. We want cultural authenticity. But let's be real, we don't want our living rooms looking like a historical museum exhibit. The design had to firmly belong in the 21st century.
To find that perfect balance, the Siam Canvas team actually looked to the past. Specifically, they looked at Lai Rod Nam. This is the traditional Thai gold leaf lacquerware technique. It's this absolutely incredible, historic art form that's famous for its stunning contrast. You know, these bright, super intricate gold patterns set against a really deep, dark background. It's basically a cornerstone of Thai cultural identity and their visual heritage.
But here's the catch. Turning that rich heritage into an actual physical product presents a pretty massive hurdle. Traditional Lai Rod Nam is incredibly meticulous. It requires intense manual craftsmanship, endless layering, and crazy precision. So while it is undeniably beautiful, it is literally the exact opposite of modern, affordable mass production. You obviously can't just hire someone to hand-paint thousands of air conditioners with gold leaf and expect to keep them affordable.
So the big breakthrough here was abstraction. The research team figured out that consumers didn't actually want literal temple-style ornamentation plastered on their appliances. Instead, the designers did something really smart. They extracted the essential visual DNA, the rhythm, the layered geometry, the soft curvature of the traditional art, and they translated all of that into contemporary abstract geometric patterns. It completely captures the essence of Thai art, but it speaks the language of modern product design using these gorgeous warm, neutral, and soft metallic tones. Okay, so with the visual language locked in, the project had to prove that this could actually be manufactured at scale. Because this wasn't just some art school project, this was a serious industrial strategy. So they broke the manufacturing journey down into 3 rigorous steps: parametric 3D CAD modeling, vacuum-forming mold creation, and finally, high-impact polystyrene production. Let's walk through them. Step 1 is all about bringing the ancients into the digital age. The team took those abstracted geometric patterns we just talked about and meticulously built them out using parametric 3D CAD modeling. This allowed them to perfectly map the new decorative elements to the exact curves and dimensions of standard AC units. It's basically where the poetry of cultural design meets the strict hard math of engineering. Then, once that digital model was absolutely perfect, the process moved into the physical realm. They created a mold for the vacuum forming process, and what's really cool here is their focus on subtle, low-relief textures. By keeping the texture subtle rather than super raised, they maintain this calm, premium, interior-friendly surface. It doesn't overwhelm your eye, and just as importantly, it doesn't turn into a magnet for household dust.
Finally, we hit the production phase right on the factory floor. They went with high-impact polystyrene, or HIPS for short, in a vacuum forming machine. And HIPS is just a fantastic material choice for this. It's lightweight, it's incredibly durable, and it's capable of holding those really sharp, refined geometric edges that mimic the precision of traditional craftsmanship. Plus, it's highly scalable for mass manufacturing.
So when you step back and look at the entire timeline from start to finish, from those ancient traditional cabinets all the way through the digital rendering and factory prototyping, right up to the contemporary final product, it is just amazing. It's a complete pipeline that proves cultural heritage isn't just about, preserving the past. It can actually function as a hard, actionable industrial strategy for future industries. And here is the final result: the Siam Canvas interchangeable front panel system, all boxed up and ready for the consumer. The genius here is that it's designed to be completely modular. It elegantly snaps right onto your existing unit. That means you don't need to hire an expensive technician to completely replace your home's HVAC system just because you want to upgrade your interior design. Honestly, it's about as easy as hanging a piece of art on your wall.
So let's quickly break down the key features of this system. First up, you've got those detachable decorative layers, which means you can totally customize the visual modules to fit your space. But critically, they engineered all of this to maintain completely uninterrupted airflow performance and cooling efficiency. It still does its job perfectly. But perhaps the absolute most important feature is sustainable aesthetic refurbishment. Remember that yellowing, UV-damaged plastic we talked about at the beginning? Now, instead of tossing the whole machine, you just replace the panel. It extends the life of the appliance and dramatically reduces electronic waste. Talk about a win-win. Just look at how seamlessly the final product integrates into a modern living space. Those gold geometric patterns catch the light beautifully, giving off this really high-end premium feel. It completely repositions the air conditioner from a clunky utility that you desperately want to hide into a feature piece that you actually want to display. It gives the room emotional resonance and a really distinct sense of identity. When we compare these two paradigms side by side, the shift is just massive. Standard appliances offer pure functionality, sure, but they inevitably lead to visual clutter and quick disposal the second they start to age. The Siam Canvas approach, on the other hand, offers genuine emotional resonance and sustainability. And think about the commercial applications for a second. For hotels, high-end resorts, spas, or premium retail spaces, this becomes a powerful tool for grand storytelling. A boutique hotel can now express local, authentic identity right down to the climate control systems hanging in the guest rooms.
Which really brings us to the bigger picture here. This project goes way beyond just making air conditioners look pretty. It's actually about expanding Thai soft power on a global scale. Usually, when we think of cultural exports, we think of things like tourism, amazing food, or traditional handmade crafts. But Siam Canvas proves that everyday industrial design, the mundane objects we interact with every single day, can become incredibly powerful vehicles for cultural communication. It's essentially soft power embedded right into the infrastructure of our modern lives. Now, before we wrap things up today, it's absolutely essential to acknowledge the brilliant minds and sponsors who actually made this happen. The synergy between academia and industry here was key. Major shout-outs go to the researchers from Swan Sananda Rajabat University, working alongside the vital industrial insights from Thai Façade Engineering. And of course, a project like this doesn't happen without funding, which was provided by the National Research Council of Thailand and the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research, and Innovation.
To close out this explainer, I want to leave you with a really profound thought straight from the project's own conclusion. Heritage is not a limitation of the past, but a creative resource for the future. True innovation isn't just about tweaking circuitry or eking out a bit more cooling efficiency. It's about creating emotional meaning between people, their culture, and the objects they live with every single day. So, the next time you look at a boring, everyday household appliance, I want you to ask yourself, what piece of cultural memory could we use to reinvent this? Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time.